one mapper to key value, one mapper to column, and one mapper to graph. And I have my driver again, JDBC. So one communication to MongoDB, one communication to Cassandra, one communication to Redis, and one communication to Graph database. That's a Neo4j. I have my Docker Compose file. Basically, the idea is, okay, I'd like to run several databases, and let's make it easier. Put everything in a container. So as you can see here, I have my Redis container.
What's a container?
Container is a small package that I'm gonna put an MP3 player.
MP3, yeah.
Yeah, so I have my player and I have my music.
Yeah.
So my MP3 is a player, so and my music is my container.
I get it.
MongoDB and Neo4j, okay? And the whole idea here is to start to run and make it fun. Okay, first, let's use God because I'm a big fan from mythology. So let's put an ID, so an ID, and then some name, and then of course a list of power, and empty constructor. Why? Because I'm gonna use CDI. The whole idea here is to make easier the integration between Java and my NoSQL database. Okay.
CDI again is CDI.
CDI is my specification to inject object in my Java application. So I have my server, I have my container, my Java container. If I'd like to just make easier to handle resource, that's mean transactions, database resource, and everything around the Java database and the Java words and my application, I can use this guy, the CDI, to handle that stuff to me. I created two strings just to put in the console. That's a little guy here. So to see what use container. Basically, what gonna I do? I'm gonna run my code inside of this piece of inside of this block. Okay. Basically, my first step is to create a God instance. So I can create Apollo. The ID is number 1. The name is Apollo, and his power is the sun. The sun, right? And now what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna store this guy on my database. First, I'm gonna use my key value. And usually on NoSQL database we have templates. Template is a skeleton to do the basic operations in a NoSQL database itself. Also, we're gonna start with key value database. We have the key value template. If you'd like to use document, we're gonna have document template and so on. So let's use a container to make easier to inject my template. So container, I'm gonna select what kind of dependency I'm gonna need. I'm gonna put information on my database, my Apollo guy. I'm gonna return my information. Remember, there's a key value. That's me. I need to have the key to return the information. Got. And for sure, I can delete the information. The results. Delete and run again. And let's put the guy here. Okay. So first, I gonna start my container. What's going on? Okay. I'm gonna start my container. Basically, I'm going to use the Docker Compose to create a for NoSQL database using the container. So Docker Compose up, and basically it's going to start the whole containers. So okay, what's going on here? So one document, key value, column, and graph. Document, graph, key value, column. Okay, and then in my application, and the first thing that I forget was put annotations. Annotations are the metadata of my class. I need to define this class gonna be an entity, so let's use the entity annotation. I need to define each field gonna be my ID or my key, so let's use my ID annotation. So let's run again. Sorry for sometimes I forget about that.
That's okay, but listen, just to clarify, why are some things public and private? Like, why are those, like, what is it, ID and name? Why did you make those private?
Okay, that's encapsulation. I can make it public. However, everybody outside can access. And we'll talk about security. So if I put this guy here as a public, that means an invalid ID. So that's encapsulation, and also means security. To make sure that nobody gonna do this kind of stuff, I can make it private. But that's not a good idea. When I put private, that means okay, nobody outside my class gonna access this code. That means safer, and that means nice book that's an effective Java from Joshua Block, yes. Yeah. And the whole idea is put more restrict access, more secured access as much you can put default, or maybe you can put public. But public that must be the last option. I mean, public is the last option. Think public. Okay.
What if I wanted to access one of those outside of this context here? How would I go about doing that?
Right now, I'm just using the constructor for sure. And first, you need to understand if you're gonna change this kind of stuff, because the setter method, if you wish, like name, if you like to change the name, but always put the priority as default package. To just people inside a package can update this kind of public getter setter, because at the end that means you are doing the public getter. Do I really need to put getter, and what kind of encapsulation I'm gonna put in this kind of stuff? I mean, do I really need to put public? Do I really when you really need that? Okay. As you can see here, I have the result, the first one and the second one. Why the second one is empty? Because I delete the information in the TTL, that means time to live of the information. And the first question is 12 what? 12 hours, 12 days, 12 milliseconds. And on this new API, on the database for 1 second. Second of 2 seconds and waits. So to check if the information is there. Okay, the query, the information is there. Use to update or replace to another key value implementation. Right now running Redis. I'd like to use another NoSQL database, just update to Hazelcast or wherever you want. Okay.
Cool.
App, and then we need to finish. So let's keep the same Apollo sample, and let's use document. So for sure, document template to new names, because the structure inside key value is different from document. So right now I don't have. I can define, of course, my TTL, but let's keep it for a while. I have the option to find by ID. So let's find by ID. I can delete the information itself. Okay, let's run. One important thing is on the document. Remember, I'm gonna use my XML file structure. That's mean I need to define each field I'm gonna go to my NoSQL database. So I need to use my column annotation, right? So column annotation again. Document app, and see what's going on. As you can see here, I search and then I return the value. And let's run again to see what's going on. And they're gonna receive a exception. Why a reception? Because I cannot insert twice the same information. That is a consistency issue. So what should I do? I can use for sure the update method to see what's going on. So that's a little bit different from the key value structure. As you can see here, right now it's running, use update. The last sample that I would like to show, Fluent API.
What is it called?
Fluent API.
Fluent
Yeah.
API. And to do queries?
To do queries. Queries, yes.
Queries. Gotcha.
The idea here is to avoid mistakes from developers. So basically, I'd like to return some information from my NoSQL database, right? So I can find on safer way. So the first step is select. So can you select one field or select everything, right? And then let you know the next step. So got, and then I go next step, and then I can see more options. So next, I can see right now I have the equals, in between, greater than equals, like, and a lot of options. So let's use equals, 1L, and then create the query itself. So templates, for it, query by API. And let's run again. As you can see here, the first one I did a query by the ID, and the second one I did by the API. So of course I can define like name equals, what's the name? Apollo. Son. From God where name, oops. Apollo. Query by text. Let's run again. The first one I did using my select, my Fluent API, and second one I just did using the text. For sure, if you like to use prepare statement, that means I'd like to define this value on real time. I can do my prepare statement. Why not? So prepare, and then my var. Oh, come on. I have my prepare. I can do my bind. So name. And for sure, I can do my get results, and that is it. So the whole idea is using my specification, my standards. I don't need to care too much about the API of NoSQL database itself. I'm using MongoDB, but if you like to use another document database, I'm using documents with Mongo that you use CouchDB or AronDB, anything else, go for the API. Okay. About microservice, several NoSQL database about conference. So I'm gonna have four service. One is to handle just the conference. So I'm gonna start conference. The second one is session. So my microservice of sessions. And the last one is my microservice of speakers. And the whole idea here is, okay, speaking conference has another NoSQL database, and client doesn't have any NoSQL database or any storage database. However, the client needs to access the service itself. So the whole idea here is to client doesn't have any the service using microservice called microservice request. So if you can take a look here, I have my service, my conference service. As you can see here, I'm using my request REST application on the Jakarta EU world, in Java EU world, right? So I have my path to define my path URL. I define my content type, so I'm using application JSON. To produce, that's mean to generate. To consume, that's mean to read. So basically, I'm gonna generate JSON and I'm gonna read JSON from that guy. And I have the interface, as you can see, and I have my conference resource, and this guy here is my service, my resource. So basically, queries to the database itself, it's gonna expose by HTTP just this client with that interface. I don't need to care about my client. I just need to have this make it easier to create microservice. And
coming from the Jakarta namespace, or is that part of the part?
That's a part work together. So have microservice, microprofile to work with microservice, and you have Jakarta to run our cloud native application. Okay, so the whole idea is to make that basically every time you're gonna check if somebody is okay. So if you like to check if my conference service is okay, basically I'm gonna go there and check if it's returning 200 code. So strategy. Beyond that, we have fault tolerance. That's mean you can find a circuit break to, like, okay, if this guy is out, go to something about that. So you can choose several options, and somebody's out, you can choose another option. Or maybe just return something like, okay, we are out right now, return later, if you wish. Of course, that's not a good option. So, and the whole idea here is to, with 3 files, I can create first my application, with my service. My service files is the file where I define the database or my queue that I need to run. So I'd like to have Elasticsearch, I'd like to have MongoDB, and I'd like to have Postgres. And I put the name and the version. I'm gonna do the request. So the default one is my client, and if I put, as you can see here, client by HTTP, so I'd find my secured access to this application. If I put /speakers, I'm gonna access my speaker application through the HTTP request, and so on. Okay. My service, my route, and for sure my application YAML file. This guy defines first the name of my application, the container information, so where I'm gonna run this guy, so in this case Java version 8. The way to build my application, as you can see here, I'm just running Maven project, so I just can use any open source product to build my application as much I wish. So I can use Maven, I can use Gradle, I can use Anti, or whatever you want, and I can make the relationship. Think about relationship about credential. So basically, I'm saying that my conference gonna access my MongoDB application, and the name of the credential gonna be MongoDB. Okay, so my conference gonna access my MongoDB database. My clients gonna access the speaker through HTTP request, my conference through HTTP request, my session through HTTP request. So right now I'm using just the file to define the security to access to my service, my application, and my database. Okay, so my time is almost over, but basically what I'd like to say is you can let's show my Java Latin America application. So I have my routes, I have my 4 application here, as you can see, and I have my database. So basically this guy here, oops, no, this guy here, the service, become the 3 information. And my application, like a speaker, gonna access my information of Postgres and Elasticsearch and so on. So I can find the access to each service my application gonna access. If you have like financial application and have financial service, I can find that, use that file. Okay, the idea is to handle my container, to handle my security, to handle my way to build, just using these 3 files. And I'm using the Git code. So as you can see here, I did a commit. When I push my code to show how easy is that, let's create a quick sample. So create something like, oops, my console. Let's create here, my internet's not good, so let's create something like hello today Orlando. Let's go next. So basically here, if you don't like to use language and the template itself, we just need to have the 3 files. The template is just to make it easier to use, start to use the platform message and put your code in the cloud. So we have support to several languages. So if you like to use Java, go ahead and choose some application, like one implementation of Eclipse Microprofile. I define the place where, so I can use Git, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, whatever you want. Put the code there, and platform message can watch. And every new commit, they're gonna generate a new build or new service. If the service, let me finish the presentation and return there. So that's us. So the idea is to make it time, even Friday. So you can just push the code, and they're gonna create a build to you. Deploy anywhere, because platform message is a platform message. So AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Orange, and so on. We have support for and Travis. Instead of you handle the Docker by yourself, you can cloud providers that you wish. And of course, we have scalabilities. Arsenal, Unity,
Wow.
and we have support to several languages. So Node.js, Golang, Java, Python, PHP, and Ruby. And InfluxDB, Apache Kafka, Redis, MongoDB, MySQL, PostgreSQL. And for sure, we are in the Java, in Jakarta EE, Microprofile, and so on. I create a project with some code. Basically, that's just a commit. When I do a request, it's gonna show. Check the code. That's a Git project. So let's go here. Clone the project. So if you wish, you can use GitHub, GitLab, and when you go there, let's try to show that on the IDE. It was hello from hello today. I create a small microservice using Maven. Use JAX WRS to create the REST request. One, to define how I gonna build the application. So on this case, I'm using. So I move my application to outside the target, and then I can find the routes and the service, and that is it. So what I did today, I explained why Jakarta Java is easier to the Java developer integrate, to have communication. We talk about how I can move my application to the cloud easily. Use any provider. You can use Docker if you wish. On this case, I used platform message, Twitter handle. If you like to know more, I have that QR code. Java EE, Eclipse Microprofile, good practice to.
Yeah, it worked perfectly.
Yes, that's the idea. So guys, if you have any question, there's the time to say something.
To get started, like,
Yeah, why Bruno is
Yeah, if you guys don't, I just need you to.
sweet.
Switch it. When you guys come back, we start, how about that?
Yeah.
sounds good.
I have a question.
Perfect.
Okay, go ahead.
very good.
So, Jakarta, is that part of, or related to JBoss?
I
in
checked
any
it
way?
out on YouTube.
Yes,
Looks good.
it does.
Yeah, it looks good.
Was the server who implemented Java E. Right now we have Jakarta E, that's exactly, and JBoss gonna implement Jakarta E. Source, so you can use for free. You can change the code. The whole code is on GitHub. I think the license is Apache, so it's fine to change, to do whatever. Free.
I
Change.
support some Java apps that are older than I am, and some of them are not documentation for JBoss stuff, but maybe I haven't.
Yes, so, you know,
Yeah.
so they changed
They changed the name
they
to
probably changed
Wi-Fi.
everything.
So is the old stuff just not?
Because Jakarta E, Java E looks for compatibility. So
I'm talking
it's
about the
basically some
older-
product.
The
No, he's
older
talking about
JBoss.
the old JBoss, yes, you know,